refer to as the modes of entry. So the major question for a company if they decide to expand internationally is, how are you going to enter? The most common methods for entering into a global marketplace are exporting, licensing, a joint venture, and then direct investment. So each of these has pros and cons, good things and bad things to consider when you're choosing your mode of entry. So let's start by looking at the most common way of entering a foreign marketplace, or the most common mode of entry, and that's going to be exporting. So exporting is the idea that you are simply taking your product from your home marketplace and shipping it and delivering it to a foreign marketplace. This is the most common because it is the most low risk. If you think about it, there's not a lot of commitment. You can stop these actions at any time and stop selling your product internationally at any time. There's no commitment to a retailer or anything like that in the foreign marketplace. And you haven't made a strong capital investment either. So you haven't built a facility there. You haven't hired employees in this new marketplace. You have really low risk. Now you can choose to do indirect exporting or direct exporting. Indirect would involve the use of some intermediary, meaning someone in your home marketplace helping to get your product into a foreign market, whereas direct exporting means that you are directly shipping your product to probably a distributor or a wholesaler, or potentially a retailer in that foreign marketplace. You could also be shipping directly to the foreign consumer as well. So really, indirect exporting, you're using an intermediary to get it from its home base or its home market into the host market, whereas with direct exporting, you're not using an intermediary to just get it into the foreign marketplace. So again, really low risk, low commitment here with exporting. Great if you're just introducing your product into an international marketplace for the very first time. The next mode of entry would be that of licensing. So here, a company offers the right to either trademark, patent, trade secrets, or some other item that is valued to them as a brand in exchange for some form of royalty or maybe a fee. So licensing involves a small upfront cost for the licensee, or sometimes we often hear this referred to as franchising. So royalties can translate into a direct profit for the licensor. So the original brand is making money off of whoever it is that they are licensing their product elements to. This is ideal for countries that impose strong imports or mature products that are more standardized. So you maintain a strong level of control if they're more standardized. But you do have to factor in that there is a loss of control when you are no longer the person running your brand. So if we take something like McDonald's or Subway, which are both franchises, which is a form of licensing, if you see a Subway, for instance, which is a US built brand in Mexico, that would be a franchise. That means that an individual is paying Subway to use their branding as well as sell the products that they have created. But this means that Subway loses control because they aren't there every day making decisions and running or operating that particular location. So we see more of an investment here. There is a commitment between the franchisee or the licensee and the licensor, so the original brand and whoever is actually licensing or franchising. There's a relationship there. So if you don't want to do it anymore, it's more difficult than exporting where you could just stop. So increasing the level of risk and increasing the level of commitment. If we continue with this, we come to a joint venture. So joint ventures will occur when a foreign company and a local company will invest together to create a local business. This allows a company entry when there may not have the financial, physical, or even the managerial resources to enter into that market and be successful. Now, a government may require that a joint venture occur to allow a foreign market, or excuse me, to allow a foreign company into their particular marketplace. So sometimes we see government restrictions where they will require, if you are a foreign company and want to invest, you have to team up with a local company. This is a bit of a protectionist measure in that it helps keep a local company financially involved, as well as helps the foreign company to learn the local practices and ensure that they are adapting to the local cultures. Sometimes we see two companies come together and formulate a third company, or in the example given, the Strauss Group and PepsiCo joined together to enhance distribution in certain countries and make sure that the product could actually go out. So that's a good example of a joint venture where they've come together to enhance the distribution of a product in a marketplace. Now, lastly, the most high-risk option for a firm when looking at how to enter a foreign marketplace is that of a direct investment. So in this case, a firm is choosing to invest directly into a foreign marketplace by owning maybe a foreign division. So you're opening a new division of your company in that new market, or maybe creating a subsidiary, meaning that it's an entity that is attached to the original company, but it is for that local area. This is the most heavy capital, meaning the most expensive form of investment. If you think about it, you're now employing people in this area because you're creating a subsidiary or division. You're going to have some form of infrastructure and operating system in place. Which means offices and some form of local sales force, most likely. But direct investment can result in cost savings and a better understanding of the local market. Typically, your employees are going to be people who are local to the area, and this can be extremely beneficial for understanding the cultural elements and developing a product that's going to be most successful in that area. So the challenge here can often be whether you standardize or customize. And this is one thing that all marketers face despite the mode of entry,